Usitshela
All rise. All rise. Order, Madam Speaker.
check mic yam. Leya ngithole. About rice. Chathi ngiphuma. For sure.
There will now be an opportunity to cite the legislation. You may be seated.
Angizwa ngitshekhe. Awuthele.
Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the privilege MECs,
Amikho isandla ke.
all honorable members that in the House today. Now we have honorable members to our right also, and not only to our left. Let me also
Let me also address the issue of the dress code, that the Ethics Committee will look into the matter of the dress code. I see that the EFF is again not complying with dress code, so all their members will be referred to the Ethics Committee to deal with this matter and to come back with a report. I don't think this time around, soon as the Ethics Committee is established, we will wait 2 or 3 years for reports on the Ethics Committee. Let's then start with the business of the House. Are there any notices of motions? What I have received, let me go through the list. I have received from the Honourable Chief Whip 2 of them. I've received from the Honourable Deputy Chief Whip. I have received from Honourable Knutzer a notice of motion. I have received from Honourable Tlokoti a without notice, and from Honourable Madikizela also without notice. I hope that is the list of all the notices of motions. I have not left anybody out in that regard, honourable members. Thank you so much. Honourable Chief Whip, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Let me take the opportunity and greet you, the Honourable Premier, the Executive the members of the executive, all members of this provincial legislature, the support staff and the guests, and the guests, yes. Madam Speaker, I move without notice in terms of Rule 130 of the standing rules that despite the provisions of the standing rules of procedure of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, that the House approves the sitting times of the House at 10 for the 27th of June 2024. I so move. Thank you.
Come around this one. Honorable members, it's a motion without notice. I put it to the House for adoption. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Chief Whip, over to you again.
Thanks once again, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I move without notice in terms of Rule 130 of the standing rules that the House congratulate people of the Eastern Cape and all the political parties that participated in the successful 29th May general elections. The prevailed spirit of peace and no violence is a demonstration that our democracy is maturing. Acknowledges that the IEC conducted free and fair elections and ensured that all the complaints that arose from the process were addressed with the utmost efficiency and diligence, as we have come to expect from the Independent Electoral Commission. Notes that South Africa should pride itself as a country whose vibrant democracy continuously prevails when its maturity and application is tested. Notes that we also wish to extend hearty congratulations to all the candidates who have since been deployed, sworn in and are hitting the ground running. Therefore resolve that to commend the Eastern Cape for hosting peaceful and incident-free campaigns and elections, and the people of this province freely and without intimidation made their choices at the polls. Therefore resolve that all the sworn-in MPLs must internalize that their deployment to this House is purely for the work of carrying out the task of fundamentally transforming our society into a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous South Africa. Therefore confirm that the work has started and on a daily basis in the 7th administration, service to the people will be put first. I so move. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable members, I put the notice without motion. You can do better than that. It's early in the morning. Thank you, honorable members. I now call upon the Honorable Deputy Chief Whip.
Honorable Speaker, I move without notice in terms of Rule 130 that the House knows it is with deep sadness that I rise today and express our condolences to the families of the 9 people who lost their lives as a result of heavy rain and flooding in Gqeberha and East London early this month of June. This includes more than 2,000 people's homes that were destroyed in Duncan Village, Stony Drift, Mzamomshle, Amalinda, Ndanzane, and many other areas in East London. Be certain that the recent heavy rains have caused widespread damage and destruction, and our hearts go out to all those who have been affected by this tragedy. We are particularly shattered by the loss of these 9 lives, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families and loved ones during these difficult times. Know that the heavy rain and flooding have a devastating impact on the communities of Gqeberha, specifically in Kariega in East London, causing significant damage to infrastructure and homes and disrupting essential services such as water and electricity. Recognize that the government has already taken action to provide emergency relief to those affected by flooding, including the deployment of disaster management teams to assess the damage and provision of the food, shelter, and other essential necessities. Acknowledge more the needs to be done to prevent such tragedies from happening in the future. This includes investing in infrastructure to improve drainage and water management systems, as well as ensuring that communities are equipped with the knowledge and tools to prepare for and respond to natural disasters. Understand that the loss of these 9 lives is a stark reminder of the devastating impact of natural disasters that can cause in our communities. As we work to provide relief and support to those affected by flooding in those 2 metro cities, we must also redouble our efforts to build resilient communities that are better prepared to withstand such events. Recognizes that the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research and Focus concurs and has sent serious warnings that these will be more severe storms, there will be more severe storms and flooding experienced within a short period in the eastern parts of the country, which consists of Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. The inherent socio-economic vulnerability of our province and its inhabitants continue to exacerbate our sensitivity to the impacts of disasters that are a consequence of changing climate. Therefore, resolve to urge government and all community stakeholders to provide all required support to the affected communities. Impress on the government to take on a more proactive and preventative approach in dealing with these perils of climate change by integrating climate change in its policies, planning and practice. Urge government to continue to prioritize disaster risk reduction measures and to work with communities to build safer, more resilient future for all people of the Eastern Cape. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the 9 people who lost their lives, including 200 displaced people of East London and all those that are affected by the flooding in Gqeberha and East London. I so move, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Chief Whip. Honourable members, I put the motion without notice.
Agreed.
Thank you so much. We'll now move on to the next one from Honourable Knutzer.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I hereby give notice that I move in terms of Rule 131 of the Standing Rules of Order of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, noting that the Committee on the Rationalisation of Areas under the Jurisdiction of the Division of the High Court of South Africa and the Judicial Establishment Recommendation significant changes to the area of jurisdiction to the seat of the Eastern Cape Division of the High Court, and that the main seat of the division be moved to Bishu. Secondly, it is estimated that over 5,000 people in Makanda and surrounding areas could lose their jobs as a result of this proposed move. Resolves that the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature debates the viability, feasibility and practicability of moving the seat of the Eastern Cape Division of the High Court from Makanda to Bishu, based on the following factors. A, the effect of the proposed move on established employment networks in and around Makanda, the effect of the proposed move on the people employed in the legal and related sectors in and around Makanda, the impact of the socio-economic effects of the proposed move, the economic impact of the proposed move on Makanda and Makana local municipality, the degree and level of public participation in terms of recommendations to move the seat of the High Court, the projected cost of moving the High Court to Bishu, and the readiness of infrastructure related to the establishment of the High Court and related industries in Bishu. Secondly, the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature ensures that the best interests of the people of the Eastern Cape are taken into consideration. And 3, the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature ensures that we protect jobs in this province and prevent any further loss of employment opportunities and the further decline of our economy in the Eastern Cape. I so move.
Thank you so much, Honourable Knutser. Honourable members, we note the notice of motion. It will then be debated at a later stage in accordance with Rule 133, subsection 1. I will now call upon Honourable Lokoti.
Honourable Speaker, I here move a motion without notice in terms of Rule 130 of the Standing Rules of the House, that this House notes that on the 28th of June 2024, Akhuliwe Mangweni Mlungu, a 20-year-old mother of 2, will be bearing her 2 children, Kayone, who is 6, and Akamile, who is 2. And that the House notes that Akhuliwe's 2 daughters met their untimely death on the 16th of June 2024. And that the House further notes that Akhuliwe lost her 2 children who drowned while trying to cross the Mbashe River by foot in an attempt to visit her parents' home, which is quite far by road. The drowning of these 2 children is blamed on the lack of bridges across the Mbashe River. The drowning could have been completely avoided if the ANC delivered on the promises on service delivery. We therefore move that this House notes that we call on the government of the day that it should be ashamed and take full responsibility for the lives of the 2 children and any other lives that are lost due to lack of necessary infrastructure after 30 years of democracy. We therefore move that this House takes full responsibility for the unnecessary lifelong trauma that they have brought to Akhuliwe and the children who sat with the lifeless body of Akamile on the riverbank. And lastly, we call upon the government of the day to reach out to the family and ensure that those children have a dignified send-off. I so move.
Thank you so much, Honourable Lokoti. Honourable members, I put the motion for adoption.
Agree.
The majority of members have not agreed to the motion, honourable members. Unfortunately. Can we then go over to Honourable Madikizela?
Honourable Speaker, allow me to invite the attention of the House to move on a motion without notice in terms of Rule 130 of the Standing Rules of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature that the House notes, 1, a concerning situation on the state of the municipalities in Eastern Cape. That on 2023 audit report, the Auditor General painted a bleak picture of the Eastern Cape municipalities, where irregularities, non-compliance, and suspected fraud have resulted in material financial loss or estimated at 632 million. That all this is happening because the municipalities of Eastern Cape are on autopilot due to lack of oversight by committees of this August House. That the chaos is as a result of the absence of leadership in the Department of Cocta. That the Department of Cocta has failed to intervene on the crisis and anarchy happening in municipalities. For instance, there are municipalities that employ unqualified senior managers, directors, and even municipal managers with no consequences. Therefore, the House resolves that an internal and external assessment be undertaken with the view to determine whether the appointment of the new cabinet is really equal to the task of dealing with the lack of service delivery and eradicating corruption within municipalities of Eastern Cape. And the question is promised on the fundamental question asked by the leader and the father of the Russian Revolution, Vladimir Lenin, who asked, what is to be done? The question is more relevant today than ever, To put it in context, the House must establish what is to be done on the municipalities like Inokim Gijima, who host their operational functions on hospital buildings. What is to be done when a mayor of Winnie-Madikizela Mandela municipality employs her sister who doesn't qualify for the post? What is to be done when the Honorable MEC nullifies the appointment of manager of community service in Alfrenzo and later get intimidated into confirming that appointment without any new evidence? What is to be done when the Honorable MEC shows no interest in acting on the embarrassment by Umzimvubu Municipality Speaker, who is charged with 2 counts of murder, but is still at the helm of the institution? I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Madikizela. Honorable members, I put the motion without notice for adoption. It cannot be agreed. The majority has not concurred with the motion. Honorable members, we will now go to member statements. I have received only 3 members, that is Honorable Makashela, Honorable Kasim, and Honorable Kotoi. I hope those are the only 3 honorable members. I see no other hands. We will then proceed, Honorable Chief Whip. The 3-minute rule applies. Please, each political party will be given 3 minutes to present your member statement. Thereafter, the executive have 5 minutes to respond to each statement, starting with the Premier and thereafter. Honorable Makashela, your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, it was with profound sadness and grave concern that I rise to address the tragic death of initiates in the Eastern Cape during the recent traditional circumcision season. This recurring crisis demands our urgent attention and action. It has been reported that 8 initiates have perished in different parts of the province since the beginning of the initiation season. The loss of young lives during what should be a sacred rite to passage is unacceptable. Honorable members, while we respect our cultural traditions and sacred rites of passage, we cannot ignore the preventable deaths and injuries that occur in the province year after year. Each life lost represents a family shattered and a community in mourning. We must work collaboratively with traditional leaders, health professionals, and local communities to implement stricter regulations and oversight of initiation schools operating within the Eastern Cape province. The measures that we can take to prevent further tragedy include improving the screening and training of traditional surgeons, establishing a fully functional rapid response system for medical emergencies that may occur in initiation schools, increasing awareness about the risks and proper care on initiates. Furthermore, we must address the underlying socio-economic factors that often lead to unsafe practices. As representatives of the people of the Eastern Cape, it is our duty to protect the lives as well-being of all citizens, especially our youth. Let us commit to concrete actions that will end these preventable tragedies and preserve the cultural significance of this rite of passage without compromising safety of all those who are involved. Honorable members, mabaye bephila, babuye bephila. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Kasim, your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the 10th of October last year, this House unanimously adopted a motion directing the Honorable MEC Ngata to convene a crime and safety summit within 60 days in the northern areas of Nelson Mandela Bay. After initially refusing to comply, MEC Ngata finally convened the summit on the 15th of March this year. This was in the context of the ongoing gang violence and killings which still continue to plague our people in the northern areas of Gqeberha. The exceptional turnout at the summit, the concerns raised and questions asked by residents was indicative of the deep concerns that our residents have regarding the violent crime that has besieged our communities. However, I must say, Honourable Speaker, it was disappointing that elected councillors who are the voice of our residents were not allowed to make inputs and instead were told by the Programme Director, the NMB Speaker, Eugene Jick Johnson, that they have a line of communication to the MEC who will solicit inputs from them. At the summit, the Honourable MEC Ngata made a number of commitments, and one of which was to publish the summit resolutions, as these were not presented to the community on the day as should have been done. Concerned residents filled the West End Community Hall as they wanted solutions and interventions, but regrettably, they left without a specific plan on how this particular situation, an abnormal situation in the northern areas, would be addressed. The Honourable MEC today marks 104 days since the summit was held, and to date the resolutions have not been published, nor have the councillors of the northern areas been given the opportunity to make inputs, and most importantly, no interventions have been implemented in our communities. Gang violence and killings have continued to plague our people, and on the night of the 16th of April, about a month after the summit, 3-year-old Emilio Hutchinson was brutally killed alongside his grandmother and a guest in his home in Pinar Street in Helenvale. Can you imagine the terror that little Emilio experienced when those gunmen invaded his home, his place of safety? Out of fear, little Emilio began to cry and was shot multiple times. And for a 3-year-old to experience this in his own home cannot be a normal situation. To the Honourable MEC, we are saddened that the summit has not brought any interventions, and it now appears to have been an insulting talk shop in the run-up to the elections. Apart from the Crime and Safety Summit, the motion that was adopted by this House called on the MEC to request the Minister of Police to assist the crime-riddled Nelson Mandela Bay by doubling the number of members allocated to the anti-gang unit, to assign the best detectives from around the country to support SAPS in NMB, to deploy the National Intervention Unit and Special Task Force of SAPS into the northern areas, and to strengthen crime intelligence to increase police visibility. In addition to this, the motion also called on the Provincial Commissioner of SAPS, together with the Department of Community Safety, to consider investing in drone technology to be used as part of anti-gang unit operations, and to have the shot spotter technology renewed and rolled out to other areas of the northern areas where gang-related activities are of a concern. So I'd like to ask the Honourable MEC, Honourable Speaker, of these interventions that were adopted by this House, tabled and adopted, can he indulge us as to what has been done, what is currently being done, what will be done, when will the resolutions of the summit be published, and when will the commitment to solicit inputs from the councillors of the northern areas be implemented? If there is no intervention, Honourable Speaker, then I would implore on the Office of the Speaker to take the MEC to task for not implementing the motion that was adopted by this House to its
Honourable
fullest
Member, your
extent.
time is
Thank you
up.
very much, Honourable
so
Speaker.
much. Honourable Kotoy.
Thank you.
Your 3 minutes starts now.
Madam Speaker, Premier on his first State of the Province address, which he delivered on the 28th of June 2019, committed himself to a number of undertakings. One of those undertakings was that delays in paying service providers and SMEs within 30 days, as prescribed by the Public Finance Management Act, will not be tolerated. The records shows that some provincial departments still fail to pay SMEs within the prescribed 30 days. That, he boldly stated, would not happen under his administration. In a report issued by the Public Service Commission in 30 December 2023, Eastern Cape Province was reported as the biggest offender with unpaid invoices longer than 30 days, amounting to 2.7 billion rand from 26,941 invoices at the end of September 2023. Ungajonga ke pha page 8 we-report uzobona into kokuba asikhi entloko nalento sithethayo. The challenge with this cancer of non-payment is that it negatively affects the operations of the SMEs, which play a big role in mitigating unemployment. Eyingxaki kakhulu apha kweli phondo lethu. Some of these suppliers end up having to acquire loans in order to survive. In some cases, this non-compliance implicates other constitutional rights. For example, one of the causes of the taxi operators embarking on an action of refusing to transport learners was late payment invoices. The failure resulted in the constitutional right to learn of some of affected learners being infringed. In the effort to deal with this problem, recommendations on how to eliminate the entrenched culture of non-compliance of 30 days prescribed period, a presentation was made in the Portfolio Committee on Small Business Development by Ms. Mopane. One of the recommendations was that the issue of payment of service providers within 30 days be included in the performance agreements of accounting officers, chief financial officers, and other senior office managers working in that area. It was also recommended that disciplinary action be taken against officials responsible for the late payments. In Eastern Cape Province, are there any concrete measures that have been taken to deal with this? Has the issue been included in the performance agreements with the accounting officer, chief financial officers, and senior management as the part of the key performance areas? Do we have any records of officials who have been disciplined for failure to comply with these prescribed time periods? On the lighter note,
Your 3 minutes.
is the Premier going to discipline
Honourable
himself for
Member.
failing to do this, as he said in the...
Thank you so much, Honourable Member. Thank you. Honourable Members, I now hand over to the Honourable Premier. You have 15 minutes to respond. You can allocate it to the respective MECs if you so allow, within that 15 minutes.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Honourable Speaker. Good morning to you and good morning to Honourable David Speaker and all honourable members and the guests. Thank you very much. I would ask Honourable Williams to talk on the issue of initiation, challenges and the debts. I would really want to stand up here to join many voices that have been extending a word of heartfelt condolences to the families that have been losing their kids, including those that we lost in Mbashe. The unfortunate part about all this is it's got an element of negligence from parents, where you allow kids to walk alone without being guided, including the situation that we find ourselves in the initiation schools. Young people who are not meeting the laws that we have actually enacted here are allowed to do these things, particularly through the illegal initiations, particularly in the belt of Port St. John's, Nyandeni area up to Mthatha. Out of 8, 5 of kids we have lost in that area. Still again, I know yesterday was a commemoration of Nyobeni situation that we continue saying to parents, we must continue taking responsibility for parenting so that some of these kind of issues can really be avoided. Yes, of course, we are hard at work rolling out programs of well-seasoned bridges where the bridge is needed. Bridge is going to be actually constructed, and that government program is ongoing as we have embarked on our expansionary fiscal arrangement where we are rolling out the infrastructure across the province. But Honourable Williams can come in there briefly to add on what I've said. On the issue raised by Honourable Kasim, yes, the work is being done, but I would really want to reach out to many South Africans, people of Eastern Cape in particular, to do what Ronwen Williams has done, so that we don't come here and try to demonstrate and try to use this as a political gimmick. Go to the ground, do something. Ronald Williams, the goalkeeper of Sundowns, during the break, he went to the northern areas, talking directly to young people, engaging young people, showing them the life and other opportunities beyond what we can just see. So I think he's a very good role model. Let's all look at that, make initiatives, let's all fight crime, because there will be no police to each and every street, there will be no police to each and every household. I know yesterday, 2 people were gunned down yesterday night in Motherwell. But I want to commend the police. Police against all odds. They've been going all out. I've been on their necks myself. I don't have nice sleep. because every time I come across these things, I stand up and look for police. This happened in the house of a well-known Ginza. There's a Ginza in the Black Townships. There's gangsters in northern areas. In the place of a well-known Ginza, 2 people were died. Fortunately, police arrived there. That particular suspect is arrested now. So we believe a lot of deaths that have been happening around Motherwell in particular are connected into that. So work is being done. Crime is a problem. We all accept it. So the issues of resolution and others, MEC, when he's back, will be able to update and take the House into his confidence. Surely, it's something that should be out there, something that cannot be hidden to anyone. It's a collective discussion. It's an outcome of a collective discussion of the all stakeholders in the area. So we really want to commend the effort police have done. More booths have been added in Nelson Mandela. We want specialized interventions, and I've been talking to PC yesterday. She gave me that assurance again. More booths from the South African police women and men are on the ground to make sure that we confront and really deal with this problem, because it undermines the constitutional right of our people of being in a safe country, in a safe street, in the safe households. The last issue, Honorable MEC Mvogo will speak to that. We have improved a great deal in the 6th term. Yes, some would have serious problems of accruals and all that. We've been having such kind of complications in the bigger departments due to challenges of cash flow, education, and health. Education has improved quite significantly. So in general, other departments have been doing relatively well. We are monitoring that one. We are applying consequence management. If it means, Honorable Kotoi, I must apply consequence management in me, I will have to consider that. How do I do that? But we are applying consequence management across to make sure that those who are employed to work, work. Those who are employed to manage, manage. Those who are appointed to lead, lead. But with few minutes remaining, Honorable Speaker, I will give the 2 MECs to quickly wrap up on that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MECs. Between the 2 of you, you've got 10 minutes remaining.
10 minutes. I still have time.
Can you just switch off your mic, please?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to the Premier, members of the Executive, and all members of this House, and our public and people watching us in the social media platforms. Honorable Speaker, I would like to join the Chief Whip of the majority party in sending our condolences to the families of the 8 initiates that have unfortunately and regrettably passed on. Honorable Speaker, as a department, since March, we started with the training of traditional sergeants and their assistants in preparation for the winter season. And in that period of 3 months, we've covered the whole province in terms of training. And 2 institutions were assisting us, ICAMVA Institute and the Right to Care. We're working together with them in order to ensure safe passage and skilled traditional surgeons in order to attend this critical and sacred tradition. However, Honorable Speaker, our clarion call to families seemingly is falling on deaf ears. The reasons for kids to die in traditional circumcision schools are things that we consistently communicate about. That no parent must allow his or her child to attend to an illegal initiation school. Quite surprising, Honorable Speaker, here in Buffalo City, Kunubi, a 19-year-old boy who was just circumcised in December 2023. In June 2024, that boy becomes a traditional surgeon and circumcises another boy, and that's the result of the death in Kunubi. And I'm saying, Honorable Speaker, if you look at Buffalo City, the tradition is well known. It has transcended generations, and therefore every young man should know who must practice circumcision. But this leads me to the point of dysfunctional families, where the families are fatherless, sometimes even if the family is existing, but alcohol abuse results in no proper care for the kids. And kids end up involving themselves in drugs. That is why they will even forget who circumcises in the community and allow another young man to circumcise them. So I would really want to make a clarion call again to say parents are the center of traditional initiation, because some of the deaths, Honorable Speaker, relate to dehydration and septicemia and kids that have not been screened. And I am saying it is quite frustrating, Honorable Speaker, when we experience recalcitrant behavior from parents, from traditional surgeons, and we have rescued about 72, Honorable Speaker. 72 initiates in Mount Elif, 12 and 13-year-olds already circumcised without parental consent. And I'm saying this needs us to work together to try and ensure that we save our kids, because the tradition itself does not kill anybody. Usomagwaza kabulali mtu somlomo. Enkosi.
Thank you so much, Honorable MEC. Honorable Mvoko, you have 6 minutes remaining.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to you, the Deputy Speaker. Greetings to the Premier, executive members, members of the House. I have never seen Honorable Kotoi in the committee which was chaired by Honorable Ndabi, Honorable Speaker. I'm raising this because we have kept the members of this House abreast in terms of the progress that we have made with regards to that. You would remember we come from an era where we even developed within the Treasury itself our own system, where we were checking for all of those who couldn't be paid to log in and give us details. And I have updated the committee, so I'm saying I'm not certain if she sits there or gets a briefing. In average, most departments would pay within 10 to 12 days. The reality is what the Honorable Premier is raising, Honorable Speaker. More than 50% of our budget, as we know in this House, goes to education and health. And our intervention in the Department of Education has actually made it possible for education to turn the corner. If we speak now, there are very few, education has very few cases where they do not pay within 30 days. They've turned the corner. The Department of Health, however, is still the department where we have this serious challenge. As you would also know that the challenge of cash flow in Department of Health is caused by many things, amongst others, such that they would have to pay for medical legal claims. By the time the financial year draws to a close, they are waiting for something that is going to come the following year. However, the Provincial Treasury has seconded one of its DDGs to monitor the situation in health. Together with Provincial Treasury, they are assisting health to also turn around the corner. So we would give a better account, I am certain, in the next financial year on how health would improve in this situation. So I'm saying it is not like what it used to be, but we admit in the Department of Health. I think when talking to the Premier, sadly, I would want to agree with her that perhaps going forward then, when there are new appointments that are being done, that condition that she puts must find expression in there. It's the only way in which we are going to make sure that, despite the challenges that they are having, we would actually deal with this. I agree that it is a serious challenge to the SMEs, but we're doing all. So in all, Honorable Speaker, It is only Department of Health now that is struggling to do that. Most of the departments have turned the corner. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mvoko. You've saved us a few minutes there. That concludes the member statements. Honorable members, I will now ask the to read the first order of the day.
Draft resolution, consideration of the determination of the upper limit of salaries and allowances of the Premier by the President in terms of the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act 1998, Act number 20 of 1998.
Honorable members, as you are all aware, Proclamation 169 of 2024, published on the 5th of June 2024 in the Government Gazette, and the Provincial Notice of 907 of 2024, published on the 11th of June 2024 in the Provincial Gazette, Extraordinary number 5119, set out the remuneration packages for the Premier, the members of the Executive Council, and members of the Provincial Legislature in line with the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act 1998. In this sitting, the House must consider and resolve on this item, which will be tabled by the Honourable Chief Whip in the form of a notice of motion in line with Rule 130 and Section 6 of the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act 1998. I will now call on the Chief Whip to move the motion. Honourable Chief Whip.
Thanks, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I move without notice in terms of Rule 130 that this House considers Section 6, Subsection 3B of the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act of 1998, hereinafter referred to as the Act, and Section 6, Subsection 1 of the said Act, as well as the upper limit of salaries and allowance of premiers, members of the Executive Council and members of the Provincial Legislatures of 2023, 2024, and 2024-2025 financial years, set out by the President of the Republic of South Africa in Proclamation 169 of 2024, published in the Government Gazette number 50757 of the 5th of June 2024. Further notes the determination of the upper limits of salaries and allowances of members of the Executive Council of the Province and the members of the Provincial Legislature by the Premier of the Eastern Cape Province, in terms of Schedule 1 of Provincial Notice 907 of 2024, as published in the Provincial Gazette Extraordinary number 5119 of 2024, published on the 11th of June 2024. Determines, in line with the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers Act of 1998, that the total remuneration package of the Premier of the Eastern Cape Province be set at 2,531,760 rand per annum, with effect from the 1st of April 2023 and 1st of April 2024, subject to the provisions of Section 6, Subsection 2(8) of the Act, and the terms and conditions set out in the Proclamation number 169 of 2024 and published in Government Gazette number 50757 of the 5th of June 2024. I so move, Honourable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Chief. Honourable members, I put the motion.
Agreed.
Any objections? Thank you, Honourable members. Honourable members, now I understand why. It contains everything. Nah. So you are quiet now, Honourable members. No one, I'm still waiting, no one. No, I understand, Honourable members. Just teasing you a little bit. The old members will know. I can see they are all smiling. Honourable Wardendow, they are all smiling. I will ask the Secretary, therefore, to read the second order of the day.
Draft resolution, permit.
I will now call upon the Chief Whip to move the motion.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. I move without notice in terms of Rule 130 that the House recognizes that Section 27, subsection 1E of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa of 1996 provides that everyone has a right to have access to health care services, including reproductive health care. Notes that Section 1E of the Parliamentary and Provincial Medical Aid Scheme Act of 1995, hereinafter referred to as the PARMED Act, deals with compulsory membership of PARMED Medical Aid Scheme of certain persons. Further notes that Section 1E of the same Act provides that every person who is or becomes a member of a provincial legislature, in a case where the provincial legislature concerned has resolved that this Act shall apply to its members, shall, for as long as he or she holds that office or post, be a member of the PARMED Medical Aid Scheme, subject to the rules of that medical aid scheme as registered in accordance with the provisions of the Medical Aid Scheme of 1967, Act number 72 of 1967, provided that if any person and his or her spouse both qualify for compulsory membership of the said scheme, in terms of this section, only one of them shall be obliged to be such a member. Therefore, resolved that the PARMED Act shall not automatically apply to members of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, and that members of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature shall exercise their right of freedom of choice in relation to subscription to medical aid. I so move. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable members, I put the motion.
Agreed.
Any objections? Oh, Honorable Cowley, you are getting onto the platform. Honorable, thank you so much, honorable members. I will now ask the Secretary to read the third order of the day.
Appointment of members of the Ethics Committee.
I will now call upon the Chief Whip to move the motion.
Thanks once again, Honorable Speaker. I move in terms of Rule 130 that this House resolves to appoint the following persons as members of the Ethics Committee in terms of Rule 55.2 of the Standing Rules of Procedure. Honorable Vuyo Jali, Honorable Mpumelelo Saziwa, Honorable Sgqiboka Zimbonyana, Honorable Nomasiki Zikonza, Honorable Yusuf Kasim, Honorable Hendrik Mueller. I so move.
Honorable members, I put the motion. Any objections? Thank you, honorable members. I will therefore ask the Secretary to read.
Speaker.
On what rule are you rising?
Rule 85, Speaker.
No.
Speaker, you asked for an objection.
What rule are you rising?
You asked a question, Speaker, but we couldn't respond on time.
Can we just get Rule 85? Let me read to you what Rule 85 says. A member must address the presiding officer when speaking in the House. That is not a rule that you are on rising. I'm giving you an opportunity. You must cite the rule on which you are rising. I asked for objections and there was no objection. So now I'm asking on which rule are you rising? Because what we are asking you when we're asking you to cite the rule is what is the matter that you want to put to the House so that the presiding officer is able to make a decision whether the presiding officer will accord you that opportunity to state your case.
Yes, Speaker, but I was rising
No,
on...
then sit down, please. Sit down, please. Please sit down.
Oh,
Thank you
fine.
so much, honorable member. We will move with it. I understand. Thank you so much. We will now ask the Secretary to read the fourth order of the day. Thank you.
Appointment of trustees to the Permit Board.
I now call upon the Chief Whip to move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I move without notice in terms of Rule 130 that this House, noting that some of the members of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature have chosen to remain members of the Permanent Medical Aid Scheme. Further noting that Clause 17.1.2 of the Permanent Medical Aid Scheme rules makes provision for election by provincial legislatures of trustees to serve in the Board of Trustees. Nominates Honorable Koboshiane as a trustee and Honorable Saziwa as an alternate. I so move. Thank you.
Honorable members, I put the motion. Any objections? Thank you so much, honorable members. I will now ask the Secretary to read the fifth order of the day.
Appointment of trustees to the Public Office Bearers Pension Fund Board.
I will now call on the Chief Whip to move the motion. No, Chief Whip is working today. I hear others are saying you're working for your money, Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move without notice in terms of Rule 130. Thus, this House, noting that the Political Office Bearers Pension Fund provides retirement benefits and associated insurance benefits to all members of National Assembly, National Council of Provinces, and the provincial legislatures, including the members of the executive, except the President. In terms of the rules of the fund, the Board of Trustees has the sole responsibility of managing the fund. Whereas amended Rule 12.3.1 requires that within 6 months of every general election or otherwise when necessary, the members shall elect 14 trustees, commonly referred to as members trustees, and 14 alternate trustees from among their members. Rule 12.3.1 further provides that the members of the provincial legislature shall elect a trustee and an alternate trustee to represent them on the board of the fund. Noting that the election process is specified in Rule 12.3.1b and requires that a valid motion shall be passed in the House that proposes the appointment of the trustee and her or his alternate, and that the record of the election shall be kept in the minutes of the House, which will then constitute confirmation of the election results. Further noting that the process outlined in paragraph C above must therefore now be followed to select a representative board to replace the current trustee board. This requires that National Assembly, National Council of Provinces, and the provincial legislatures elect new member trustees and alternates in accordance with the process described above. Having received an invitation from the chairperson of the Political Office Bearers Fund to elect or re-elect a member trustee and alternate trustee in terms of Fund Rule 12.3.1 to serve in the Board of Trustees of the Fund, nominates Honorable Duba as a trustee and Honorable Fihlani as an alternate. I so move, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable members, I put the motion. Any objections? Thank you so much. Honorable members, I will now ask the Secretary to read the sixth order of the day.
Tabling of Eastern Cape Public Service Commissioners' end of term report.
Honorable members, in terms of Rule 87 of the Standing Rules, a person who is not a member of the legislature, if invited by the Speaker, may address the legislature if invited by the Speaker after consultation with the Whips Committee. And today, we have the pleasure to have the Resident Public Service Commissioner, Ms. Lulama Sizani, with us to table her end of term report in line with Section 196 of the Constitution. We hereby call upon the Provincial Commissioner to come and address us. But before we do that, we must also just state that Rule 87 provides that a person, as I've stated, who is not a member of the Legislature may address the Legislature if invited by the Speaker. We shall therefore now convert into a committee of the whole House. I will therefore ask the Sergeant at Arms to please lower the mace. Yes, thank you so much. I will now at this stage acknowledge the presence of the resident Provincial Commissioner, Ms. Sisani, that is here with us. She is responsible for the Office of the Public Service Commission in the Eastern Cape, and we will allow her the opportunity to present a report in terms of Section 196, subsection 6B of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, Act 108 of 1996. Ms. Sisani, please come to the podium and present. I have not given the resident Public Service Commissioner a time, but we have whispered to her ear that she must make use of her time. Can we possibly give the public service a round of applause? We will all know and understand that the Honorable Public Service, the resident Public Service Commissioner is also ending her term. She is vacating, so this is her last opportunity to attend the House in the position of resident Public Service Commissioner. Once she is done and we are done, we will also then outline the process moving forward in that regard. Over to yourself, Honorable, what everybody's Honorable Public Service Commissioner.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the Provincial Legislature of the Eastern Cape, people of our province, it is an honor and a privilege to address this House today. I am particularly thankful for the opportunity to table my end of term report at a time where our country is transitioning into the 7th administration. I wish to congratulate the province and its people for holding peaceful elections and ensuring smooth transition to power. With the world moving into uncharted territory of coalition governments, it is encouraging to see the continuation and stability in our province. An achievement we should all be proud of. We are indeed the province of legends. This month marks 10 years of my service with the Public Service Commission, 5 of which I spent serving as the resident commissioner for our magnificent province. The past 5 years have been both rewarding and sometimes challenging, especially when one considers the nature of the cases we have dealt with over the years as part of executing our constitutional mandate. It is therefore my pleasure to present the end of term report on the work done by the Public Service Commission in the Eastern Cape office in discharging its oversight responsibilities over the 6th administration. The purpose of this report is to provide an account on the activities that the Public Service Commission undertook during my term of office, as well as the decisions and outcomes during this reporting period. I have decided, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, to consolidate the work that we did during my term into a document, as the allocated time today would not allow me to cover even the summary of the work that we did during my 5-year term of office. And that report is presented in the office of the Speaker. The report that I table today, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, further aims to ensure transparency and accountability, continuity of the work of the PSC in the province, in order to facilitate a smooth transition for the new incumbent, and will become part of the official record and preservation of institutional memory. Through this report, Honorable Speaker, and honorable members, the Public Service Commission seeks to demonstrate its commitment to openness and responsiveness in the execution of the work assigned to me during my term of office. Honorable Speaker, this is an excellent timing as it provides us with an opportunity to reflect on where we are coming from, the strides we have made thus far, challenges that we face, and the opportunities that exist to improve service delivery to the people of this province. As honorable members know, the mandate of the Public Service Commission is broad, and its powers and functions, amongst others, is to promote the values and principles set out in Section 195 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, investigate, monitor, and evaluate the organization and administration of personnel practices in the public service, to propose measures to ensure effective and efficient performance within the public service, to give directions aimed at ensuring that personnel practices relating to recruitment, transfers, promotions, and dismissals comply with the values and principles set out in Section 195 of the Constitution, to report in respect of its activities and performance of its functions to this House, either on its own accord or on receipt of a complaint, to investigate and evaluate the application of personnel and public administration practices, and to report to relevant executive authorities in this legislature, to investigate grievances of employees in the public service concerning official acts or omissions and recommend appropriate remedies, to monitor and investigate adherence to applicable procedures in the public service, and to advise the organs of state regarding personnel practices in the public service, including those relating to recruitment, appointments, transfers, discharge, and other aspects of the careers of employees in the public service. The Commission is independent and must be impartial and must exercise its powers and perform its functions without fear, favor, and prejudice in the interest of the maintenance of effective and efficient public administration and a high standard of professional ethics in the public service. However, I must state, Honorable Speaker, that there were times where we handled very sensitive investigations, and as a human being, I felt our lives were in danger. But I was encouraged by the words of Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, and I quote, "A man who won't die for something is not fit to live," close quote. I knew that I was not the first human being to find myself in that situation. For me, it was a matter of dealing with fear, but there are those that actually lost their lives in the line of duty. In the 6th administration, this august House, in its wisdom, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, assigned the Portfolio Committee on OTP, led by Honorable Mkhaga at the time, to be the one responsible for the processing of the work of the Public Service Commission. From time to time, the chairs of chairs, Honorable Duba and other chairpersons of committees, saw it fit to develop a mechanism where the work of the PSC would be presented to all committee chairs. When the PSC tabled its annual report to this House for the financial year 2021-22, Honorable Speaker, we did acknowledge that the Eastern Cape Province is the first in the country and is still the holder of that title today to comply with Section 196, subsection 6 of the Constitution, which provides that the Commission must report its activities to this House. During the period under review, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the PSC committed itself to contribute towards a responsive, ethical, and value-driven public service that responds timelessly, efficiently and effective to the needs of the citizens. This was done through embarking on projects that aimed at bringing government services closer to the people, especially in the rural areas of our province. We were committed in ensuring that government services are easily accessible everywhere around the province. We partnered with different stakeholders such as the Department of Home Affairs, Employment and Labor, South African Social Security Agency, Social Development, South African Police Service, National Youth Development Agency, Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform, the South African Human Rights Commission, the Office of the Health Ombudsman, the Public Protector, amongst others, to ensure that the citizens do not struggle to find information, apply for benefits, or access essential services. We also assigned MOUs with institutions such as the Nelson Mandela University and Nelson Mandela Museum. The highlights of our performance, Honorable Speaker, bearing in mind that the PSC operates as a single commission for the Republic, the PSC has consistently been leading from the front in the promotion of efficient, economic, and effective use of resources, and for the whole term under reporting, the PSC has been receiving clean audit opinions from the Auditor General, including the financial year 2023-2024, which the Chief Financial Officer of the Office of the Public Service Commission view it as the cleanest, with no findings at all. In a province such as ours, where the majority of our people depend on social grants, most of our youth unemployed, and access to services and education still a challenge, we regard wastage of state resources as a crime against humanity. The achievement of clean audits is not something that we boast about, as it is a mere standard that this legislature expects of us. We are pleased that most of our departments in the province are beginning to institutionalize and live out the constitutional values. The majority of our government departments achieved clean audits and unqualified audits, and they continue to improve year after year. The PSC also started a process to amend the Public Service Commission Act, and the bill is before Parliament. We had briefed the Portfolio Committee in this legislature on these processes, as the bill is tagged as a Section 76 bill, since the Public Service Commission has a presence in provinces. This bill will be taken forward in this 7th administration. This bill, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, is in anticipation of a single public service envisaged in the Public Administration Management Bill, also before Parliament. Other important areas that the bill seeks to address is to strengthen the independence of the Public Service Commission and to change the status quo where the Office of the Public Service Commission supporting the Commission is a government department, as opposed to a secretariat. This part of the work, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, is under Program 1. In what we call our core business programs in Program 2, Leadership and Management Practices, during the financial year 2021-2022, we saw a decline in the number of grievances lodged to the PSC by civil servants. This is a good sign, Honorable Speaker, and can be attributed to the promotion of a constitutional value of good human resource management and career development practices that maximizes human potential. We also acknowledge the fact that during the financial year 2021-22, there was reduced contact between employees and their supervisors due to hybrid working arrangements brought about by COVID-19 pandemic. However, we are pleased that even after COVID, the PSC continued to receive a manageable number of grievances, as members will see in the detailed report. In Program 3, that deals with monitoring and evaluation through the Citizens Forum, a flagship project of the PSC. Communities at Link and Kunwati villages in King Sabata Dalingyebo municipalities, some stakeholders from those areas are in the House today, Honorable Speaker. We took mobile services to those communities for people to apply for identity documents, birth certificates, social grants, employment opportunities, and access to health services, amongst others. These initiatives also benefited unemployed youth as they were offered training in their respective villages without having to travel and incur cost for accommodation far from their homes. And those training sessions were provided by the NYDA. The Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform offered information sessions at Kyukyu village in Buffalo City municipality through the interventions of the Public Service Commission. The PSC, with his social partners, conducted announced and unannounced inspections in schools, hospitals, forensic laboratory in Gqeberha, home affairs offices, police stations, and many other places to assess the state of service delivery and infrastructure. With respect to the forensic laboratory in Gqeberha, Honorable Speaker, we presented a report to the Minister of Police and the National Commissioner, as well as the Provincial Commissioner for Police in the Eastern Cape, with a recommendation that a disposal site be found in the Eastern Cape instead of utilizing the Western Cape. We believe the risk of driving all the way to the Western Cape for disposal is very high, carrying dangerous substances while taking those substances to the Western Cape. Our inspections were conducted in partnership with the Department of Employment and Labor, and they assisted the Commission in issuing contravention and prohibition notices in hospitals and schools that were inspected. Through these inspections, Honorable Speaker, and with the cooperation of the departments whose facilities were inspected, we were able to intervene in the improvement of service in many government service points. The poor conditions of laundry services were found in some hospitals, including the Nelson Mandela Academic Hospital in Mthatha. On a follow-up inspection, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, we discovered that the laundry services have improved drastically through our interventions. The recent inspection at Zimnono informal settlement in Amalinda, old dumping site, in collaboration with the Human Rights Commission, Buffalo City Metro, represented by Ward Councillor Wetsetse, Social Development and Home Affairs, revealed that these are pockets of communities that are still living in dire conditions. At this inspection, we found a tavern next to a crèche, and we referred the matter to the Eastern Cape Liquor Board to investigate, and it was found that the tavern was operating without a license. A case was then opened with the police at Cambridge Police Station. The ward councillor confirmed that the people in this area will be moved before the end of the year. This matter will be followed up by the Public Service Commission, and the coming commissioner will have to follow up on these matters, and the Human Rights will also follow up, and a report will be presented to this House. In Program 4, Madam Speaker, integrity and in anti-corruption, the PSC, among other things, monitors the state of compliance with the financial disclosure framework by government departments and executive authorities. The framework was introduced to the South African Public Service in 1999 as a necessary step to safeguard the confidence that the public bestows on the public service. This framework has been incorporated into the Public Service Regulations of 2016. In the 2022-23 and 2023-24 financial years, all government departments in the Eastern Cape fully complied and achieved a 100% submission rate. The PSC undertook a 3-year research project which commenced in 2019-2020 financial year, and it overlapped into the 2022-23 financial year, focusing on the study by the Public Service Commission on the promotion of ethics in the public service. This study will be concluded in the year under review. In April 2022, a seminar was hosted focusing on the outcome of the Commission of Inquiry into the allegations of the state capture, corruption and fraud in the public service. In December 2022, the PSC hosted a 2-day conference in the International Anti-Corruption Commemoration Day under the theme, The Cost of Failure of Governance and Ethics in the Public Service, response to the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state. A report was developed and shared with the relevant stakeholders, including the Anti-Corruption Task Team. The PSC, Honorable Speaker, remain committed to continuous improvement and excellence in service delivery, and we will continue to collaborate with the provincial legislature and other organs of state to ensure that government provides quality services in an effective and efficient manner. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, in doing our work, let us recognize that serving in government is a privilege. It is an opportunity to make the lives of citizens better, to make the future brighter, and communities stronger and empowered. As we take government services to the people, let us remember the vision of Utata Nelson Mandela of uplifting communities, ensuring access to water, electricity, and sanitation, and fostering a sense of dignity. As we reflect on his legacy, let us renew our commitment to service delivery, recognizing that it is not a luxury, but a fundamental right for all. I would like to thank all the members of the Public Service Commission at the national office and provinces, my fellow commissioners in the Cape Cluster, Commissioner Goya, who is present in the House today, the resident commissioner for the Northern Cape, and Commissioner Seal, the resident commissioner for the Western Cape, for the support they have given me in this great assignment. I also want to acknowledge and thank the acting deputy chairperson of the commission, Commissioner Mkolomba, who is also in the House today. I am overwhelmed by the support I received from the staff of the Public Service Commission in the province in the Eastern Cape. I am indebted to them because I succeeded because of them. The Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, the Office of the Premier, and all the stakeholders for their unwavering support during my term of office. Together, we achieved remarkable milestones, overcame challenges, and fostered positive change in the lives of ordinary citizens. Honorable Speaker, for the first and last time in this chamber today, there are members of my family and friends, together with 2 of my children.
Stand.
They must stand.
Yes, can they stand? Oh, wow, beautiful.
I also want to convey my appreciation to them for their support during my term of office. Through their prayers, support, and encouragement, I was able to carry out this national duty to the end. I am confident that the incoming PSC Provincial Commissioner will continue to build on this legacy and make an appeal to remain united in our commitment to serve the people of the Eastern Cape and South Africa so that we make a lasting impact for future generations. As I bow out, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, and as the Speaker's office closes my file and preparing it for the archives in the legislature, I wish to convey my gratitude to this House, to the Speaker, and honorable members for affording me the opportunity to serve the people of my province. I am reminded of the words of the late Tata Nelson Mandela that says, and I quote, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead," close quote. The opportunity to make a difference to the lives of others was afforded to me by the members of this House, and for that I am grateful. If we had resources, we would have invited and present before this House a cloud of witnesses and many beneficiaries of our service delivery interventions. I would like to present to this House today one of the beneficiaries of our service delivery interventions, Ms. Asemahle Sono, a grade 12 learner at Jongintaba Senior Secondary School at Mqhekezweni. Her story is a sad one with a happy ending. Her family has been unable to locate Asemahle's biological mother, so that she avails herself at Home Affairs offices in order for her to apply for an ID. The PRC intervened and assisted Ms. Sono to acquire the green barcoded ID document on the 10th of May 2024. The Department of Home Affairs confirmed that the green barcoded ID document of Ms. Sono has been issued. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I request the House to allow me to call upon an official of the Department of Home Affairs, Mr. Diko, to perform a ceremonial handover of the green barcoded ID to Ms. Sono.
Oh.
Ms. Sono represents many beneficiaries that we assisted, and the Department of Home Affairs agreed to work with us in taking services to deep rural areas of our province. I thank you, Honorable Speaker and honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. Let me just deal with this matter. Honorable members, thank you so much for acknowledging the work that the Honorable Public Service Commissioner has done during her tenure in the Eastern Cape. And I think she has also brought to us a legacy project that is a testament to the ethic of her office. I think, Commissioner, the Chief will be saying they actually wanted to see the physical handover of the ID taking place that is there. I'm quite sure the Chief would have jumped up here and wanted to be part of the picture. Honourable members, in terms of the rules, we know that this report will be referred to the Portfolio Committee on the Office of the Premier in terms of Rule 201 and 72 of the Standing Rules of the Legislature for further consideration. This is not the end. I will now just ask the Secretary to do an introduction of the guests, the list that we have received already. We know that the Public Service Commission has named a few, but there's a few guests that we have also invited to share this auspicious day with the Public Service Commission as she enters her last few days in office. Over to you, Honorable Secretary. Oh, Honorable Secretary of the Legislature. I think everybody is just honorable today.
Thank you, Speaker. We have, in terms of the VIPs that are with the resident commission, Ms. Zukiswa Mkolomba, maybe if they can just, yes. And then we have the resident commissioner from the Northern Cape Provincial Office, Mr. Anele Benedict Koyiya. And we have Ms. Sibongile Lwana from the Public Protector Office, Provincial Eastern Cape Office. We have from the Office of the Auditor General, Ms. Mangoko. We have officials from the Department of Home Affairs, Mr. Kanyile Diko, as well as Mr. Ali van Yerden. And then there are various stakeholders that have been invited. I may not necessarily read their names, Honorable Speaker, but just to mention that they come from the various institutions of government, including also the Public Service Commissioner. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Just to also note that Masono is a special guest, or is it Masono, ne? If I correct? She's a special guest of the Public Service Commission in the House, and I'm quite sure she must be the youngest guest today. Can you just stand again for us, Masono? Thank you so much. If there's anybody that we have left out, I think the list is quite extensive, and thank you for the stakeholders that have decided and honored the invitation to join this farewell to our Public Service Commissioner. We will now go to messages of support from Honorable Duba, the chairperson of committees, will come to the podium. We will also, thereafter, we will have Ms. Luana from the Public Protector, that will also just give us a few words as messages of support. By few, I don't mean a minute or two. And then we will have reflections by the acting chairperson of the Public Service Commission, and then also a reflection by the Premier in that order. Over to you, Honorable Chairperson of Committees, Honorable Juba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It's still a morning. Good morning to you. If it's a morning.
Can you just speak nearer to the mic? Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker. Should the mace not be lifted now that we have a member on the floor?
No, we are a committee of the whole House still. Still part of the process. Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape, honorable members of the Executive, members of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, distinguished guests, as introduced by the Secretary, and Usengai, umama uSizani nefamily yakhe ekhona phakathi kwethu. I would rather say, Honorable Speaker, this is it. Sesilapha ngoku. Here we are on your final day of appearance at this House as a Public Service Commissioner of Eastern Cape. Dear PSC and honorable members, sometimes goodbyes are the only way. It is time for us to cherish the final gathering at this august House, dedicated to the daughter of the Eastern Cape in the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
As she walks out to the new journey ahead. Today, I'm happy to deliver a message of support and bid farewell to the outstanding daughter of this province, who has discharged her responsibilities without fail during her tenure as a PSC in the Eastern Cape. Her work has not only been captured by this House, but it has also been captured by the media for the benefit of the community, without her being theatrically in performing her functions. At this house, we can confirm, PSC, that your values and working ethics encouraged you to extend a hand to this house, not for compliant purpose, rather as an important component of oversight, as you were leading this Chapter 10 institution in the Eastern Cape. You knew that you needed a partnership for the success of oversight. Values are enduring belief that influence our attitude and actions. Values influence the choices we make from among available means and end. By values consciously held and daily enacted, values deeply rooted in our own system of government, values that help to create confidence in the public service about its own purpose and character, values that help us to regain our sense of public service as a high calling. That's what you did, and we're proud of you, PSC, as this legislature. The legislative arm of the state post-1994 is not hogwash, because the political leadership, both from the legislative and executive arm of the state, is prepared to make oversight work. With a plethora of legislations that have been passed over the period of 30 years, and there is no long list of no-go areas or untouchables, which can result in both Parliament and the Chapter 10 institution become incapacitated. And we have to applaud the executive arm of the state for that. We are pleased as the legislature that encouraging right doing and discouraging wrongdoing was the order of engagement between your office and the legislature. Hence, as the legislature, we commit the following as we bid farewell to you. Honorable Vimbayo, fortunately, she's here in the House. As a Portfolio Committee Chairperson of Health, she's here, and she will ensure that we pursue the matter of commuted overtime by the Department of Health, which costs the state billions of rands. And further, the Portfolio Committee on Health will deal with the matter of state mortuaries that affect the well-being of the labor force. Honorable Saziwa, he is not in the House, but definitely the Portfolio Committee on OTP is here. Members of, they are still coming, they are still going to be announced, sorry. But the chairperson of Portfolio, I trust in him that that Portfolio Committee will ensure that the department do give feedbacks and update on the finding of PSC, especially when the department has responded positively but failed to report back to the PSC. Honorable Sondaba, he is here as the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Education, and he will ensure that no staff member will be paid by just staying at home, because the department has no plausible reason to take a disciplinary action against that staff member. Honorable Tony is here as the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Transport, and he will ensure that your report on Transport Department is implemented. And Honorable Gaya is here as the chairperson of Committee Safety, and she will ensure that at every oversight meeting of the Portfolio Committee, she will ask the Provincial Commissioner on each and every warrant of arrest for HODs who undermine the authority of the Chapter 10 institutions. And lastly, we will pursue, I know this is close to your heart, we will pursue the engagement with Solicitor General on proper invoicing of departments so that we don't have unnecessary negative findings against our departments. We will encourage the Premier for the departments to mirror what is happening at the Department of Social Development under MSC Founder and her HOD. Lastly, as I sit down, Honorable Speaker, it has been an honor to work with you. It has been an honor to work with you as a legislative arm of the state. Your hard work, dedication have not gone unobserved, and your efforts and time you have dedicated in leading Chapter 10 institution in the Eastern Cape will be hard to replace. Wishing you the best of success on your new adventure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair of Chairs. Honorable Duba. I now call upon Ms. Luana from the Public Protector.
Good morning.
Just speak into the mic, Ms. Luana.
Greetings to the Speaker of the Legislature, the members, the commissions present here, and all guests that are here in this legislature today. It is an honor and privilege to be standing here before you to bid farewell to the Commissioner. Speaker, on behalf of the institutions supporting democracy, I would like to express our gratitude for the opportunity we have had to work with Commissioner during the term of office. I was especially more fortunate to have met her during the short period I have been in the Office of the Public Protector. Your support, Commissioner, and collaboration that we have had as the institution is invaluable, and mostly to the institutions, public service, as well as the province. You have upheld the trust that the office placed upon you and served with integrity. You have contributed immensely in shaping the public service in the province. You have shared your expertise, experience, which we will continue to use in our operational spaces. Your tenacity and resilience with the perfect balance of humility and focus allowed you to lead like a lioness at all levels. You are leaving a legacy to be proud of. We will continue where you have left the baton as the forum. As you leave the office, I want to extend best wishes for the future endeavors, and please know that we have not stopped working with you. When you live with such an experience, you will be our source of information. NgesiXhosa kuye kuthiwe usisele senyathi. Uzuvumeke mazi ebhonqileyo amathole anqance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Public Protector. The Public Protector is also representing the Forum of Institutes Supporting Democracy. I now call on the Acting Chairperson of the Public Service Commission, Ms. Zukiswa Ngolomba. And we can see it's all females.
Good afternoon. It's good afternoon. It's still good morning, Madam Speaker. It's still good morning.
Still morning, just still morning.
Yes, Honorable Premier, members of your Executive Council, Madam Speaker, the Chief Whip and members of the House, thank you very much for the invitation you extended to us to be here as the Public Service Commission from the National Office to bid farewell and to say thank you very much to our Honorable Commissioner LV. I stand before you this morning feeling with mixed feelings. Firstly, we are here to celebrate someone who has served with passion, served with excellence, served with a high work ethic, served with commitment, with a love for her people and her love for service. We are here to honor her, to admire her, because we have been inspired by her because of the work she did with us at the Public Service Commission. At the same time, we feel extremely sad because we are bidding farewell to Mbokodo of Mbokodo, who has served 10 years at the Public Service Commission, 5 of which were in the Eastern Cape. I've only been at the Commission the past 2 years as the Deputy Chairperson of the Public Service Commission. And as a young leader who makes her own mistakes, I've often looked up to Commissioner LV and her example and said, Lona gumzali, Lona uyinkokheli, Lona uyabathanda abantu bakhe. She's been a mother to me, a big sister to me. She's been a coach, a mentor, a guide who's helped me navigate even my own personal challenges in the Public Service Commission, being the youngest Public Service Commissioner that the organization has had since its inception in 1912, and being the first woman in the chairmanship as deputy chairman. She's very, very supportive. Commissioner LV is very, very supportive. Even last week, she just entered a meeting of mine, which was a technical meeting. And she said, I'm just here at this meeting today to congratulate you for the great initiative that you are introducing at the PSC. I don't have much more to add, but I want to encourage you to forge on ahead with new innovations and initiatives in the PSC so that we are able to promote our constitutional values and principles and build an agile, developmental, and ethical public service that delivers on its mandate and serves poor communities, and build a cadreship of public servant that is actually ethical and that is competent as well, and is able to think about how it does public service as a high calling in the public service. I've worked with Commissioner LV through inspections of schools. I've worked with her through the citizens forums we've had in the province. I've worked with her with the Department of Health, where we were discussing the issue of commuted overtime. And one thing I can say about her is that she's very hands-on. She leads both at the back, at the front, and amongst her people. She's not elite or elitist. She doesn't think of herself as high and mighty commissioner. She will even investigate investigations herself, independent of her staff, and is not overly reliant on her staff members. But most importantly, I think one thing I've learned most about her is also there are two things I've loved most about Commissioner LV. Firstly is her faith, she's a woman of faith, a woman of prayer, a woman who's an ambassador for Christ Jesus. Nam ndingumzalwane ke, sasingabazalwane thina sobabini e-ofisini and other commissioners. So the way she's represented her faith through service, being a transformative leader, a servant leader, a leader par excellence, is the example she gave me. She led by example. She's driven by a passion and a love for the people of South Africa and the people of the Eastern Cape. And I think her legacy is definitely heartfelt on the ground. She is on the ground. She's not just an office-based commissioner or a commissioner who works at home having a good time. Every day she is burdened by the struggles and the challenges faced by ordinary South Africans in the province. And she's always trying to make sure that she uses her office in a way that best benefits the most marginalized, poor communities and citizens of our time. So that's one thing that I've loved about her. But also another thing you will love about Commissioner LV is the fact that she speaks her mind. She speaks her mind, she's very vocal. She will tell you the truth, even if it hurts, but she will communicate her truth, not with the intention to wound, but she will communicate her truth honestly, but also robustly. She will engage, she will challenge, but she will do so with love and respect. So as a woman, she's not a token appointment in this province. She's been a leader of leaders in this province and has led well, working together with the provincial legislature to make sure that our government departments and our public administration in the province delivers on its mandate. So I really wish her very well. May she never tire doing good. May she will always be a public servant at heart. And I really pray to God, Ukuba, the next season, the next chapter, her next lifetime will be as exciting, as impactful, as life-transforming as it has been, as she has served with us in the Public Service Commission. I would like to say to you, Commissioner LV, well done, good and faithful servant. I truly believe, Ukuba, this is what Ubawa would say to you when you walk out of the house this morning. Well done, good and faithful servant. So kunqwenela okuhle, inkosi kusikelele, sibonge kakhulu. Siyazibongela.
Thank you, Ms. Ngolomba, so articulate. We will now have a few reflections by the Honorable Premier, Honorable Mabuyane. Are you looking for a tie, Honorable Premier?
And I've been trying to get a tie from there. It's been a struggle. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Good day, good morning, to you,
Premier.
and good morning to Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable members of the Executive Council, and Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, Public Service Commissioners that are here, Lo Singaye, and other colleagues that they've joined here today. It's a very difficult one to speak after the SRC president, so you can get a sense of the exuberance and the energy that is there, so quite inspiring. The Director General and all government officials that are present here, inclusive of the staff from the Office of the Public Service Commissioner, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Honorable Speaker, allow me to join many speakers who came before me in extending our sincere word of gratitude to the Commissioner. And I think all of us, we are equal about that, we agree. I think the leader of the opposition, Dr. Nutse, will be leading, and all the opposition and other additional members at this side, to make sure that we are together on that one. We gather here today to honor and appreciate a remarkable and selfless leader, Ms. Lulu Sizani LV, as she retires from the esteemed position of being a provincial commissioner, a public service commissioner here in the province. The PSC's mission is to promote the democratic principles and values enshrined in our Constitution by investigating, researching, monitoring, evaluating, communicating, and reporting on the public administration. Commissioner Sizani has embodied this mission, leading with integrity and a steadfast commitment to public service. During her tenure, Ms. Sizani has demonstrated an unwavering dedication to ensuring the constitutional mandate of the Public Service Commission was not only implemented, but nurtured, supporting our province to achieve the highest standard of public administration. Under her leadership, Public Service Commissioner has excelled in promoting the values of good governance and principles governing public administration professionally. You have been instrumental in investigating, monitoring, and evaluating the organization and administration of our public service, ensuring that personnel practices are aligned with our constitutional values. Your effort, Commissioner, has actually proposed measures that enhance effective and efficient performance within the public service. And you have provided invaluable guidance on recruitment, transfers, promotion, and ensuring compliance with constitutional values and principles. We understand that element of cry baby every time I'm Commissioner, it didn't land. Commissioner Sizani is more than 20 years dedication to clean governments, and her fight against abuse of authority and corruption has left an indelible mark on our province and in the country as a whole. For instance, in 2011, none of our departments obtained clean audit outcome. However, in 2022-2023 financial year, 8 departments obtained clean audit outcomes. Again, in 2011, none of our public entities obtained a clean audit outcome, but in 2022-2023, 7 public entities had clean audit outcomes. We reduced municipalities with disclaimers from 17 in 2011 to 3 in 2022-2023. This achievement has been made possible because, as the leadership of the provincial administration, we worked collaboratively with Public Service Commission and Auditor General South Africa. Her tireless work to create a supportive and conducive environment for public servants has ensured that our public service is professional, ethical, and committed to the Batupili principles. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Commissioner Sizani for her transformative leadership. Her contributions to orienting new executive council members and her commitment to professionalizing the public service are deeply appreciated. The recent Public Service Amendment Bill, which clarifies the Premier's role in appointing heads of department, is a testament to her impact on our administrative framework. This amendment enhances the powers of the Premier in these appointments, ensuring accountability and optimizing the performance of our human resource. As we bid farewell to Commissioner Sizani, we celebrate her achievement and the lasting legacy she leaves behind. Her leadership has been a beacon of excellence, and her contribution will continue to inspire future public servants. Commissioner Sizani has been a staunch advocate for professionalization of public service. Her efforts have been instrumental in shaping policies and framework that promote ethical conduct, enhance service delivery, and ensure that our public service are well equipped to meet the needs of our communities. Her work in fostering a culture of continuous improvement and professional development has laid a solid foundation for a public service that is both dynamic and resilient. Throughout her career, Commissioner Sizani has been a champion of gender equality. She has worked tirelessly to promote the inclusion and advancement of women within the public service, ensuring that gender equality is not just a goal but a lived reality. Her advocacy has empowered countless women to pursue leadership roles and create a more inclusive and equitable workplace. Commissioner Sizani clearly has demonstrated that he is not suffering from a sickness of inferiority complex. She would always go for potential and support. As she rises, she lifts others as she rises, as Umamu Makleke once indicated. Honorable Speaker, Commissioner Sizani's commitment in fighting corruption has also been unwavering, and it is commendable. She has led numerous initiatives to strengthen the accountability mechanisms and promote a culture of integrity within the public service. Her efforts have exposed and addressed corrupt practices and built public trust in our institutions. Honorable members, as Provincial Commissioner, Commissioner Sizani has demonstrated exemplary and authentic leadership in addressing grievances and ensuring that public servants are treated fairly and justly. Her dedication to resolving issues and providing appropriate remedies has fostered a more harmonious and productive work environment. You have set a high standard for public service, and your work will continue to inspire and guide us in our efforts to build the Eastern Cape we want. As you embark on this new chapter of your life, we extend our heartfelt congratulations once again and best wishes. Yes, you are retiring, but I can see that you are not tired. We are confident that you will continue to make a positive impact in whatever endeavors you will choose to pursue. Your wisdom, experience, and leadership, Commissioner, will always be valued, and you will also always be cherished by members of our communities and by all stakeholders that have worked with you. Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 institutions. Congratulations, Commissioner Sizani, on a distinguished career. We wish you a fulfilling and a joyous retirement, and I don't think you will retire. Confident that your legacy will endure and continue to benefit the people of our province. Thank you very much for your selfless, remarkable dedication and service in advancing democratic principles in our country. You have made a lasting and indelible mark, and we are all better for having had the privilege to work alongside with you. Asamahle's life will never be the same. You have changed her life for better. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Premier, for those kinds and thoughtful words. We will now call upon Commissioner Koya, I hope I got that right, just to present to the Public Service Commissioner a gift, if you can both come up. And thereafter, I will also call the Deputy Chief Whip of the Legislature, Honorable Fishlani, to also be ready in the wings to hand over a gift to the Public Service Commissioner. If you could all just come to the front so that they can take a beautiful picture. Seemingly, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip do not want to come up. You can, I'm sure you are going to say a few words. I am very, very lenient today. It's a very, very special day. This does not happen always.
No. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and the members of the House. I was not prepared to say anything, but because I'm told to say something, I thought that I would need just to make a short reflection. Firstly, let me speak on behalf of the staff of the office of the Public Service Commission, as I will be holding the fort for the few days after her departure until the process of the finalization has been made. The staff of the Office of the Public Service Commission are saddened by the departure of Commissioner Sizani. In fact, they approached me some time ago. I confess now, Commissioner Elvi. They approached me some time ago and they told me what they wanted to do. They said she's an extraordinary person that they have ever worked with. They've worked with many, but there's no such person as Commissioner Sizani. So they said they want to do that and show their own appreciation, because in the process, they have learned a lot. They can even go now on autopilot with no leader, because she has imparted some of her qualities in them. So that's the message they gave me. They said, indeed, they will miss her, but they will hang on to her teachings. Hence, they are happy. Commissioner Elvi, when you called me complaining about the surprise, and I said I did not know, I knew what was happening, but I had to play dumb. But I must now confess that I was part of the whole arrangement. In fact, I advised them on the approach that they should do. I also want to thank, on behalf of the Commission, the entire leadership of the of the Eastern Cape, of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, because wherever we went, because we were working as the Cape cluster, she mentioned Northern Cape, Western Cape, and the Eastern Cape. We were working together. All the decisions and the recommendations that she has communicated, we used to sit together and advise each other. So we take collective responsibility for all those recommendations, including those that were unpalatable, because I know there are unpalatable recommendations that we made, but we had to make them in the interest of assisting the government of the day to deliver to the people. So we were part of that. And as she will be leaving, I will be holding on for a moment, and I will keep in touch with her. We have agreed that we will keep in touch. So I may be the next person in the few days, Honorable Speaker. The calls that you used to receive from her, you might receive them from me, but it's not going to be for long. We hope that it's not for long. In fact, our wish was that the incoming commissioner would be part of this process. But we know the process, how the processes work, and we will have to wait patiently. But the work of the Public Service Commission will not stop. The work will continue. We will work together. But most importantly, in all the activities that we had, there were members of the executive, which means that, Honorable Premier, you marshaled all your forces behind the vision of the Commission. You worked together with the Commission, which was a good thing for us, which we appreciate. In other provinces, it does not happen. And I wish, Honorable Speaker, you could, when you meet with your colleagues, just share with them how the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature works with the Commission. Because what we see here is not happening elsewhere. It's only happening in the Eastern Cape. In other provinces, it's just a wish that is there. Every time when we meet, we always idolize the Eastern Cape, which is a very good thing, and we want to thank also the legislature for that. Commissioner, the staff said, I must give this to you. I do not know what it is, and fortunately, Commissioner, I don't think you have to declare now. You have nowhere to declare. Oh, sorry. You have nowhere to declare. Maybe we will also not know. The people who know are those who wrapped this presents. But indeed, we will keep on knocking on your doors from time to time, tapping on this wisdom. And I hope the province will put you to good use, because the energy is still there and the brains are still sharp. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you.
Deputy Chief Whip?
Hey, mntanama usonde lapha ngemvume yakho somlo. Sonde lapha mntama apha kumako. Ngokwasasondelayo ke lo mntwana nami ndiceliwe apha on behalf of i-legislature just to send i-token eze buzombambisa umama akho ngulo. Siniyekile nina apho phezulu ninani ngo-official sinalo amzele. Ukhona somlomo nami umuntu endihamba naye ngamkhwaza nje pha u-BK wakuthi BK uphi ke ukhona kukhona umuntu endithe makeza apha epala azobona uba kwenziwa ntoni wawafihlana. Mama u-LV ndicinga uba ke on the bakhona ikhona le nto itolikayo. Hayi ke nikahle xa nitolikele. Mama uSizani, ndicinga uba ke ukufika kwakho apha kuloo ndlu yowiso-mthetho, ukusebenza kwakho sisebenzile ngokuba besethethile usihlalo wosihlalo. Iripoti yakho ikungqinile kungqinayo nje masekubekwa apha. Senzela uba ke nofikayo afike athathele kulowo magxathu sowasebenzile. Ndithi umntana makasonde lapha ecaleni kwakhe ngoba uzokwazi ukuvuleleka amathuba ngenxa yokufumana kwakhe la ID azokwazi ukwenza. It's just a symbolisis yokuba kwizinto ezikhoyo ezenziweyo kube yiloo nto ekhoyo, kodwa zininzi. uShakespeare ke ndandike ndamfunda ngondandisafunda uStandard 6 Honorable Van. I'm a product of standards and lingani nani. Kwakunexesha apho kwakuthiwa indawo lesihlala kuyo iliqonga. Kuba nexesha umkhusane oye uvalwe uphinde uvulwe. Kuhle ke xa kuvalwa umkhusane ungatsalwa umkhusane useseqongeni. Ndicinga uba undivile mntu ongumXhosa. Umkhusane ungatsalwa useqongeni. Ushiye iqonga. Ushiye kwiqonga elo kukuhle kutshayiliwe. Kungazutyibilika kunamaxolo ebhanana. Ndiba ke ngalamazwi silibhunga lalendlu kubo bonke ngokumele wonke kusukela lapha kusomlomo wonke umuntu iyasinda lento endiyinikwe apha. Le ndiqonda uba yintoni na inzima mntanam bambisela umama bamba ke mama. Enzela uba ke akubambise umntwana uzokwazi ukubamba. Niyayibona uba intle nje. Uzokwazi ke uwazi uba uyikhumbule. Ndiyisithile. Xolo. Oh, yes. Okay.
Let me direct you. Can you stand next to?
Okay, right ke ngoni yabona kahle. Thula wena. Yeah, ndicinga uba ke enkosi mama sibulele kakhulu ngexesha lakho lonke uqhubeke awuzulala ngoku qhubeka nomnye umsebenzi wokusincedisa uluntu ngokubanzi. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chief Whip and Commissioner Goya, for that. I'm not sure how Commissioner is going to carry that big. You will need some arms to do that. Thank you so much. Can we just give a round of applause to the Provincial Commissioner for the last time? Yes. Yes, you may be seated. Thank you. You were forgetting already. Thank you. Thank you. As an announcement, in our midst also, it was just brought to my attention a few minutes back, we also have Tandolwetu Kotoi. He's here. Where is Tandolwetu? I'm looking, it's a young 13-year-old. He is the son, he is the son of Honorable Kotoi that is in the house here with us. He has come to observe. Hope your presence will lead to this type of session that we always see in the house. You are most welcome, Tandolwetu. Honorable members, this concludes the business for the day. All our guests obviously are invited for lunch with our honorable members. To note that the House is then adjourned until the opening of the 7th Legislature, that is the State of the Province Address, that will take place on the 25th of July 2024 in Alfredton Zone District Municipality. Thank you so much. My apologies, honorable members, do not leave with your headsets. Please leave them on your desk where you are. Please, an important announcement.